Hello everyone, welcome back. It's time for another Volume 8 RWBY reaction. This time we're up to episode 9, which I am watching actually just on the heels of watching episode 8. I just took a quick break after watching it, but I'm ready to get back into it. So, episode 8 was a pretty good re-entry back into the volume. We got to see more of the Weiss family again. There are things to be mended there, and I'm glad that it's happening. I have felt both contempt and pity for Whitley, and I'm glad to see that in a different environment, a different situation, he's able to try to step up and be helpful. Because, I mean, there's several ways that he could have reacted to the whole situation, and initially he did kind of, go off in a bit of a huff because his incredibly toxic father had been taken away. But he tried to help, and, Weiss responded in kind, showing that she really appreciated it before, and I think that's helping a progression in their wounded relationship. Penny is still struggling to fight off the effects of the hacking compulsion that Watts has put on her. She nearly got wrecked by the hound Grim that came in to hunt her. That was a bit of a scary one. Incredibly powerful, eventually taken out, but we also had the revelation that Salem has experimented with mixing people into Grim, which introduces a whole bunch of other problems. It's all just real messed up. Yeah. Cinder went to break out Watts from jail. That also means that hopefully Robin and Crow can also get out as well. I don't really care about Weiss's dad. He can do whatever. Anyway, I'm really hoping that we get to see more of that. On the other hand, well, there's a few other places that we haven't seen yet after returning from the break, so maybe they're still just going to keep teasing us and we're not going to see any more of Robin and Crow. We might end up going back to Oscar, see what's happening there. Actually, that seems more likely now, because the thumbnail had Emerald and what's his face, the big dude, Hazel. So I saw the thumbnail had Hazel and Emerald, which means we're probably going to be in that area this episode. I'll still keep my fingers crossed because I want to see more Crow, what's happening with him. But I guess I want to see all of them, so let's get into the episode. Episode 9, entitled Witch. 3, 2, 1. I really hope me hitting spacebar was loud enough if I end up needing to use it for synchronizing later. More Crow! I want to see more Crow! So, I keep getting sniped as I'm watching the opening. I try to make a thought and then I keep thinking of something else I want to say. No, I forgot the original thing. Darn it. I feel like the last time that we saw Ren, Jean, and Yang, they were in a much better position as far as their own internal relationships were concerned, like with each other. And I think that sort of came from them meeting with the Aesops. And Ren sort of, finally letting his thoughts come out and realizing that it's okay to feel. That is a lot of Grim.
harrowing.
We're not in the clear yet. We still have to search this whole thing and find Oscar before the Aesops blow us to pieces.
How are we supposed to find Oscar? It's going to be like finding a needle in a giant whale. Why did we think this was a good idea?
This is pretty big.
I might be able to help. I can sense spikes of people's emotions, I think. It happened on Winter's ship.
Okay, so that is new to him.
Or I can keep it up.
Okay, that's new. Maybe one of them is Oscar?
I can sort of tell where they are, but not who. They're more or less in the same area, though. Further in. I can lead.
Hey, you don't have to drain yourself. I can help too.
Yeah, good thinking. Thanks.
Well, lead the way.
Can always be.
Brushed off her bumps and bruises. For nothing hurt worse than the loneliness in her chest.
I recognize that. The girl who fell through the world.
I shouldn't be surprised you're so familiar with fairy tales.
I've lived through my share of them.
Yeah, most of them were probably real.
I thought the idea of falling through Remnant into a new world was exciting. I never understood why she was so sad when she finally made it back home. But now, it makes more sense.
She wasn't the same girl anymore.
Yeah.
I think this plan to divide might have run its course. It's time we start thinking about a way out. Not having arcane certainly limits the options, so...
No. I don't like what happens when we use magic. Every time we use it, I can feel us merging faster.
That sort of makes sense.
Not ready
I
for
can't
that.
speak of why, but
I don't blame you. Honestly, I think you're doing just fine on your own.
yeah, I was thinking there's a few sources of emotion.
It's LZ clear for the payload. We're going to put aboard that thing. If we can't hold this line, it will continue to spit out Grim and we lose the city. Is that understood?
Yes, ma'am!
You wouldn't happen to know a tune for this, huh?
I don't know that anybody does.
Another wave incoming. Keep them back.
Move, move, move! But... they're just kids.
You can hash out your issues later. Right now, just kill Grim.
I guess she's also not wrong. This isn't the
Why did you bring me here?
time for that.
I've been thinking about what you said. If it's a lie, and I took that lie to Salem, the punishment would fall on my head before yours. If what you said is true, and I use the password myself, well, I don't know what happens when this thing activates. So let's see if you're bluffing.
You want me to summon her?
Either way, it'll tell me what I need to know.
What are you doing?
Let's find out.
Jin.
Here we go.
Why, hello again, old man. Did you have a question for me?
Wonder if she expected to show up in the
I think all my questions are answered now.
inside a whale.
What are you going to do?
What Gretchen would have done. And that starts with getting you away from here. Both of you.
I'm going to need something before I go.
So, just to be clear, none of you have a question for me?
No, but we'll be bringing you with us.
The moment we move that thing, this place goes on high alert. Better to get you out first.
But...
I'll come back for it. Not like she knows the password anyway.
Wonder what Jen thinks of all this. Oh, shoot.
Sorry.
It's not your fault. I'm masking and
Gross.
tracking at the same time.
Do you guys need a minute?
We don't know how much longer we have. Why don't you give masking a break? Give me directions and I can scout ahead.
Thanks. We should be heading straight for a while.
Well, at least you guys being friends again takes the sting out of impending doom.
It's okay to be afraid, you know. You don't always have to hide it with a joke.
Glad I'm not the only one who's scared.
Of course
The
I'm
jokes help
scared.
though.
Him, on the other hand, there's no fear at all. I can see it. He believes we're going to get this done.
Then I do too.
Yeah, mask is ready.
The noise these things make is so gross. It's like incredibly creepy.
You sure he'll be okay on his own?
I don't know. We just need to get... Wait. Ah, Hazel. Have you gotten what we need yet? The Seers. It seems we have guests. The lamp. Find them.
Whoa, look at it go.
What now?
Let's do what we do best. Charge blindly into danger!
Would have gone with keep moving forward, but sure. Ren?
Forward. No matter what.
Stay! How much longer for the payload?
It's approaching the LZ now.
Wonder how much it takes out of him to use the stay command.
On,
Juan. Come on, man, you shared coffee.
No, wait! Stop!
Oscar!
I knew I sensed some weak minds nearby.
What's going on here?
It's a long story.
You're gonna have to try and summarize it. Why should we trust you?
Because she's scared. Just like us.
Or maybe because I know how to get out of here. Anybody coming?
I was about to comment about
This is it, everyone.
Hazel not being so good
We're
at
gonna clear a path to that monster. We get the payload aboard,
lying,
set the
but
timer, and then we're out.
But they might still be alive in there.
I gave them their window. We can't wait any longer.
Would you say the same thing if it was your sister inside? Are you gonna tell her what you did to her friends?
Yes, Mara. Because that's my duty. Now you do yours.
We're almost out!
Marrow is too much of a good boy.
What is that?
It's her.
And she's pissed. Oh, that was a bit framey.
You really have been honing that semblance of yours.
It's too early to fight the final boss.
Let them go!
What did you do with the lamp?
Nothing.
It's missing. Where is it?
I didn't do anything with it.
Where is it? Look how you've diminished. How you've lessened yourself. And for what? These children? This ruined world? Why do you keep coming back?
Why do you? All of this endless death. Because something bad happened to you once upon a time?
I mean, it was
Nobody
pretty
gets a
bad,
fairy tale
to be
ending.
fair.
Everything I've lost, every person I've lost, is because of you.
And who is it I've taken from you, girl?
Summer Rose. My mom.
Her again?
Your Grace.
Ah, Hazel. I found our guests.
No!
This one was helping them. Take the boy back to his chamber. I have work to do with this one.
Yes, of course. No more Gretchens, boy.
I really
Oh
don't
boy.
know.
We knew that at some point he's been the only one who we've known has taken her out a few times.
Hazel.
Go.
So, you've decided against vengeance for your sister after all this time.
No, I think he's just directing it the right way.
Gretchen would have done.
Oh wow. They had zero chance.
Come on, everyone, out! Wait! Oscar?
She'll just come after us.
Damn, he's pretty good with us though.
Do it.
The frick was that? You... What was that? What was that? Now that was an episode. We didn't end up getting to see any more Crow. But I am not disappointed with that, given what we got. That was pretty much the whole episode focused on this, I think. On the whale. And yeah, like I said at the start, it does seem like I'm glad to see that at least the relationship between, you know, the three who entered here, Jean, Yang, and Ren, has gotten better. I mean, you know, these things happen. When there's a lot of stress, sometimes people need to work out sort of where they are. And, you know, that was Ren this time, sort of trying to wrestle with it. But eventually he realized what was important. And, yeah, good to see them all working together again. Salem is scary. It was interesting seeing her, like, actually fight this time. Her motions are actually really perfect for her, I think. That, like, weird fluidity in the way that she, like, glides around really quick. It's, yeah, it looks really good. Looks really good. She's also incredibly powerful. It's like, I guess at some point she just doesn't... She doesn't fight the way you normally might, because she just doesn't care. She can take an incredible amount of damage, so... defense is hardly a thing. She, instead of trying to, like, block these hits and stuff, she'll just... fine. It doesn't matter, I'll just take the hit because I'll come back and I'm probably still capable of, you know, still capable of just wrecking people anyway. You saw that after she'd just gotten beaten down, and I think Hazel was already just, like, beating the crap out of her head. Even with her head just all over the ground, she was still able to move her hand and command, you know, grim stuff to hold him captive. Because I can see that as a disadvantage. Typically, if you've got the type of character who can regenerate from anything, there's still that disadvantage that if they're injured sufficiently, at least they're incapacitated for a while. You know, it's like, okay, sure, you can beat them up if you know, destroy their head, even if they can regenerate at least until their head comes back. Usually you find that they don't really do anything. But Salem, still a threat, even when she's been beaten to a pulp. It took a lot for Salem to, not Salem, it took a lot for Hazel to get back. To sort of finally push through. I am a little more forgiving of Hazel, even though I think, you know, it's still real shitty to be beating up on a kid and be serving Salem, but I can kind of have some sympathy for him, given that earlier in this volume we learned that he did try fighting Salem many times, so I can just imagine that eventually his own resistance finally got broken down. And it's good to see him change again, albeit in what seems like it might be a redemption equals death kind of manner, which is a little bit sad. But boy did he put up a show. That man is good with dust. We've seen, like, almost none of it. Last time we saw him fighting, he was pretty much just using it as a bit of a power-up, but I can imagine that if you've got this sort of ability, he's just someone who trained with just being able to take a lot of damage, feel no pain, and has managed to really sort of, go beyond the limits that most normal people would try when experimenting with dust, just like raw, dust crystals and stuff. That's nuts, and that's a bit of a shame that this is probably the last we're going to see of him. And speaking of that, I don't know what... Oh boy. Okay, so a couple more things. So the things that we're left with this episode are... the lamp was left. And I believe that... Why am I blanking on her name now? Neo. And it looks like Neo was listening in and may have just taken the lamp for herself. I don't know if you need to be able to speak to use the lamp, or whether she's going to go to someone else. And what knowledge might she ask for? So we've got that. That's one problem, among many. And then we also have the question of, well, I guess there's still the timing. Pretty sure the bomb is still trying to be made, being brought in. I don't know whether that's going to be a problem or whether it'll be sufficient for them to just be like, Actually, no, it's no problem, because if they're out, then they don't mind if the bomb gets dropped in there anyway. Oscar's still in there. That's right. Okay, so let's speak of Oscar. We don't know what he is doing in there right now. He's doing something, another trick with his cane. I wonder why his cane is so special. I mean, it is special, and he made it. But, like, why? Did he imbue it with his magic? Is that also where some of his magic went? Is it powered by aura? How, so many questions. But something happened, we got a big flash of light, and he seemed to be going back with the intent of stopping Salem somehow, since the whole point was that they wouldn't be able to... He turned around because he said Salem will just keep chasing them. So it feels like he was trying to do something at least. If not permanent, then at least something that would be able to put her down longer than Hazel was able to then. Obviously not permanent, otherwise he would have tried to do it already. And then this whole thing wouldn't be a problem. Interesting. Anyway, I don't think I'm going to get anywhere just thinking about it like that. I'm going to have to go and see what other people think. But anyway, I'll be back next week, or, well, for my next week, because I have no idea when these videos are going to come out. But anyway, until then, take care, and goodbye.